Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Lazy Days podcast. I'm Harry and I'm joined here with Matt and Jake. Hi guys.
Good. Is it morning? Good afternoon.
Third time saying this to you now.
Yeah, I know. It is now afternoon. It would have been good morning, Matt. It would have been good morning.
Yeah, but you know what they say, third time's a
charm.
Exactly.
Is it?
So,
we'll soon find out, won't we? We'll soon find out. Jake's dodgy new laptop is just not having it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Borrow your girlfriend's MacBook, mate.
Relax.
That seems to work.
Yeah.
She does actually have a MacBook, to be fair.
Mate, it's all to do with the Macs. Maybe you just need to join the Apple side of things.
Yeah, Samsung.
Well, I'm like that one indie kid who thinks Android's better than iPhone.
Oi, I've got Android.
That's you, that's you. Yeah.
Shit. Right, so let's get into this first episode. We've got a few subjects that we're going to be talking about today. I think the first one is probably the newest one that's out there. Is the new Netflix show, True Crime, the crime story of the Cecil Hotel, and the Eliza Lamb story. So, have we all watched it?
Yes.
I have indeed. Yes. Good stuff.
Good. So, what did we think? First off, just kind of a little brief kind of what did you guys think of the show itself?
Don't have to raise your hand.
Yes, Matthew at the back there. What would you like to say?
So I've heard about this before. It's everywhere on YouTube. I mean, like Watch Mojo's made like 32 different videos on it, and it's always been in it. But I didn't know as much as this. Like it goes, it's basically they only say like the interesting part, but there's a lot more to the story. So I'm glad I gave it a watch because I wasn't going to. Yeah,
I remember watching the elevator video like years ago, and it was. Yeah. I'd never heard of the story before. This is the first time I actually sat down and watched and listened to the story itself. But that video, when you first watch it without any context, it is weird.
Well,
it's very weird.
It was surfacing around when it first happened ages ago, back when we were in secondary school. So.
She's
mate,
doing the
that's what I mean.
It's
weird.
Yeah, I don't know what all this is about. I mean,
well, that's that whole argument of whether or not she was on something.
I know. Well, let's get to that in a minute, because that is kind of a big part of the main story itself. But if anyone's not watched this new series yet, I'll do a quick, brief kind of explanation of the story. So, spoiler alert: if you haven't watched it, you better probably go watch it now and then come back listen, because we're going to ruin the story for you.
Yes.
So yeah, this 21-year-old Canadian girl. While she's at her kind of university studying, she's in a bit of a rut, isn't she? She's kind of wanting to go travel. She wants to explore. She wants to have a bit of fun. So she goes down to the California coast, and she's traveling around there, road tripping a bit, and she ends up in LA at the Cecil Hotel. This is where things start going a bit weird. So she's been there a few days. She's gone to a bookstore and gone out shopping and that. But little did she know, she's probably in the worst part of downtown LA, near Skid Row, which is kind of another part of the story. And a few days into her stay, this video emerges of her in an elevator, which was on about, and she's just acting a bit odd. And that is the last known footage that you see of Eliza Lamb. This this hunt for her goes on for a good few days, but until she's found, and she's found in the water storage on the top of the roof. Is it 19 days after she's gone missing, or something
like that? Yeah,
something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's grim. It's grim.
It's very grim, very grim, and no one knows how she got there.
By the way, this happened when we were at school, didn't it?
Yeah, 2013.
This happened when we were at school. Do you actually remember any of that? I do not remember hearing about it at all.
No.
When did you say 2012 or 13?
2013.
Exactly. So
2013.
You'd be 14, if not 15. I don't know what month. 13, 14.
I can't remember.
So, but yeah,
Quick
but
maths.
I
I
mean,
do not remember
but
any of that.
it's something
No,
you would have found
don't
out.
know.
I mean, with phones back then, and it shows in the documentary how much of a big thing it was on YouTube and all that.
Phones back then, like it's
Facebook,
like the
Facebook
1970s.
No,
Yeah,
but
brick
like,
Nokia.
you know what I mean. But like, I can't remember doing anything but being on Facebook back then. When I was like, when the whole
Yeah,
thing was
I remember just playing
happening, but I
Farmville
never
back in
heard
the day.
I never actually played Farmville, but I remember.
No. Fishville.
I remember
Fish.
having maybe 99 plus invites to Farmville, just declining all of them. I don't care about your farm. Take it elsewhere. Take it elsewhere.
Farmville was good. Don't rip into it. Back in the day, it was alright. But anyway, that's a bit off track of this Eliza Lamb story.
But no, it seemed like such a big story.
Welcome to the Lady
It
Days.
seems
Eliza
like
Lamb to Farmville.
No, it goes hand in hand. But it was so big in America, and it shows in the documentary, the Facebook groups and the YouTube things.
Yeah,
Mate,
there was a lot of it. Those web sleuths, as they call them.
Yeah, I didn't. About is that
That's
slander?
that's where it does get interesting though, because there were so many things in this story that were how it all connected in weird ways.
Yeah.
Is a bit strange, and the fact that nothing actually was found out that was true of all these conspiracies is even a bit weirder, I thought. So like how, for instance, on that bookstore, that postcode where it goes to the cemetery of where she's buried, I thought that was fucking weird. That was very odd.
Really fucking
I
weird.
know. I felt sorry for that morbid dude. Don't know if you guys. I felt really sorry for him.
Yeah.
Even though he
I mean, he's a bit weird. Isn't he?
yeah. I mean,
He's
the
a bit
music was a
weird,
bit strange and a bit kind of out there, but his life got ruined there.
I'm gonna butt in.
Just
I'm gonna
because
butt
of
in.
this.
The
Go on.
one thing I was watching it, I find it really interesting, and there's parts that we'll get on later, but I couldn't help feeling really cringed out. It's just the fact that people took to Facebook and they were like saying, "You did it, you killed her. Why can't you just tell her?"
Yeah,
It's just
no,
so
it was,
cringy.
It was wrong.
It's like
It was very
you
wrong.
did you
Yeah,
ever
but
watch?
that always happens with that always happens with modern
Yeah, it still
day
does happen.
Yeah, it's like the
modern
cats
day sort
thing.
of killings
You know,
and things. It's
Don't
like,
fuck
did
with
you watch
cats.
that?
That's
Don't fuck
it,
with
yeah.
cats, and they're all over Facebook trying, like they've studied being a detective. It's
Yeah,
just
you do
Karen-
have this certain.
It's just what happens.
There's
Karen
a certain
sings-
group of people
Yeah.
where they
Karens
think they
and
can solve
Chrome.
it, and Karens
Karen's a crow. They don't go hand in hand, man. No, it's just, don't
I
need
like that. The
it.
Karens of Chrome.
Yeah,
I like
well, you can use it.
that. I will. I'm gonna share that. That's
Thank
quite
you,
good.
Mel. But I just that's where I lost interest.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna
good.
lie.
Yeah,
I
there
was-
was a guy on there that he seemed to get too invested and a bit deep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He sent someone to like video call the other person touching
Yeah,
her
the
grave.
grave and that.
I was
that
like,
was just a bit
bro,
weird.
relax.
Yeah, they
like-
got very invested, too invested.
He's just
It
doing
isn't-
full. It just
yeah,
elbow
not
mode
for
on
me,
it.
that,
Just
not for me.
full
This is where the police were right. Like because they were so invested, they kept finding things that were further away from the actual truth than it was.
Exactly.
So they kept finding these little kind of coincidences, which they were massive coincidences, like of two different things. But yeah, it was going further and further away from actually what happened, and that's where it doesn't help the police, or it doesn't help the family, or doesn't help anyone in this case, because you just get so many different stories and so many theories where it just doesn't help.
Well,
Just doesn't help at all.
I think the thing is, in my eyes, I think the best explanation is because she had bipolar, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she was taking several medications, in which was
And depression
So-
as
yeah,
well. I
so
think.
she's
she had a lot of
stuff
medication
for psychosis. And I won't lie, I've been on stuff for psychosis, and mate, it fucking makes you trip balls. I remember taking a dose too strong, just because it makes you really sleepy. So I thought I'd take it twice, just go straight to sleep. It had the reverse effect. I heard scratching
Really?
on the walls and little squiggles around it, and like this
Is it?
little like.
Fuck that.
Pardon?
You know.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah. So, Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding.
Well, then imagine for instance, she's done that in an absolute shithole in LA. And let's not lie here. Unless you're rich and famous, the glamorization of LA is just
Mate, LA doesn't do it for me
it's a
at
complete
all.
shithole.
Well, no, I was really surprised. Because
It's a
they
complete
say
shithole.
LA is like it like shines around the edges. I knew nothing about this Skid Row, and they was like how downtown A is like LA. It's a no-go zone. I thought it's everywhere is just Hollywood, and you
Nah, I did know this.
Well, that's what I mean. They glamorize it. They glamorize it because you see like when you're in the hills and you've got all your big houses and things like that, and that's the issue with it there.
Well, this kind of ties us in
Crazy.
nicely, also with the Cecil Hotel and the kind of the Hollywood Hills and all that, about a certain Night Stalker.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that was a resident at the Cecil Hotel.
Because I was messaging Jake whilst we were watching it, and because obviously they showed Richard Ramirez at the start, and I was like, surely not.
I couldn't believe that it was tied in. I did not know that.
But he was
did
like,
not know he was there.
Obviously, he was like active as well. He was going about his business.
It was how they said how he just walked up to his room in his blood-stained pants and that, and no one batted an eyelid.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
That's fucked.
That just shows there that place needs to be shut down.
That
man.
place is like. I'd imagine
good.
that's what staying
Not
at the
good.
White Hart is like. You know?
Imagine getting in the lift with him.
What are you doing? Yeah, not.
Imagine getting in the lift with him and you just sort of nod. All right. Yeah, all right.
Dave?
Oh, Dave.
Fuck that. Yeah. All right, Rich. Good day.
Yeah, enough down in the office standard,
mate.
really.
What?
two homicides,
Yeah.
and you know how it is. But yeah, he was fucked. He was really messed up in the head, which kind of also draws us to like the Hollywood Hills and how back then no one was safe wherever they were. Like I'm guessing you watched the series of Night Stalker, right? As well.
Yeah. You can't keep me away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that
like a weird
I thought that
obsession.
show was really good. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he done some messed up shit. Like seriously messed up shit.
Yeah, but that hotel just attracts. It just attracts evil. Then, doesn't it? And then that stupid general manager making like some sort of hostel in between.
She was
What
a bit
was it
sus,
called?
man.
Weird. Never gonna
was
work.
It
was
Stay
it?
on Main. That was it. Stay on Main.
Stay
She
on
was so
Main.
defensive of that hotel. Yeah, the
It's
Stay
like she
on
bloody
Main
engaged
hotel.
that hotel or something. A fucking affair with it.
Oh.
Very, very
Oh,
weird.
no.
She was weird.
Like that guy that makes love to his car. She loves hotels
She goes to
instead.
the desk.
She
just goes.
She touches up the elevator
She loves
buttons.
hotels instead.
Oh.
Yeah. To be fair, like there's a lot of people that do that. There's someone's married to a part of the Eiffel Tower.
What part?
That's-
What part? What part?
Yeah, what the tip?
Honestly, Google it.
I
think it's like
which steel
no
rod is
one of the. So it's got like. I don't know. Would you call it the legs of the Eiffel
It
Tower?
depends.
One of the four legs.
I mean that's
She's like married to that. And there's a woman married to a train station as well. So maybe she's married to the Cecil Hotel, and when people get angry, she gets all defensive. Like
yeah, and
she's
just
so in
angry
denial
energy
of
just
her
goes through the
being an
hotel,
absolute
and it's just
shithole.
you know what's it? Monster House, where but like you know that there's
That's
that dead
her
woman,
with
she's
Cecil
controlling the
Hotel,
house.
yeah.
She's just doing it. She's loving it. She's like, yeah,
Do you know,
no
what's
one
that
bites the
film?
dust.
I
Was
watched
that?
that film once when I was like, well, when it came out, like 2006. I watched it once when I was like 7. I absolutely shit myself.
I didn't
and
like
I've not
it
watched
at all.
it
I've never
since.
seen it.
It scared the
Well,
hell out of me.
Leave
Oh,
this
it has
podcast and go and
actually
watch
stuff
it.
of nightmares, mate. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Is it a horror or is it a
Yeah,
cartoon?
leave now.
It's a cartoon, bro.
No, it's a kids' film, but it's fucking terrifying.
I don't know what it is. I've never
It's
seen it.
terrifying.
It's good though.
It's
It's
terrifying.
good. It's good. It's good.
Right, okay.
Oh, I can't even remember it 'cause it scarred me. Not
So,
for me.
I'll
Not for me.
have to give it a watch. I'll have to
Absolutely
give it a watch.
I'll ask you guys to round it
We're
up.
not saying in any way, by the way, that Monster House is like Eliza Lamb's situation.
Yeah,
We're just saying that
Monster House is just far more tragic.
The Karen who run the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Karen that run the hotel.
Maybe
just
we can
loves
get
the
her
house.
on here.
Hotel. House.
We can get on it.
Do you reckon
But
she'd come on here? A start-up podcast after Netflix fame.
Of course she
don't
would.
know.
Of course she would. But yeah, what I was going to say.
Drop her a DM, Matt. Drop her a DM and see what she replies.
Oh, I'm nearly a married man, mate. I
think
don't
she'd
talk
like
to
that.
people like that.
Dunno.
But no, what I was going to say is, in your eyes, round it up to what you reckon would happen. I'll go first, and I think it is a really tragic accident. You know, medication overdose. You know, just it being completely out of her depth, and she just, it's a spooky way to die. But I generally do think maybe she just wasn't in.
I think it was the same. I think she took too many meds. I know it said in the thing that she'd missed a couple, but maybe she was substituting for that.
Yeah.
So she took more, and then it fucked with her. Because you see the way she's walking about in that elevator. But if you've not seen that video, you can find it on YouTube if you don't want to watch the whole series.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely mental.
Yeah.
The way she's like checking the corners, like there's people
I
there.
don't like the hands.
And as well, she was like 6 floors above where she was like 6 floors above where she was staying as well,
Yeah.
which is absolutely why was she there?
I mean,
There's no need for her to be up there.
At first, for me,
But then that
I-
leads on to
I originally thought that she was like kind of murdered, but in a weird way. I thought that someone would have kind of like, it got mentioned in the thing like at gunpoint or kind of was walked with someone, like, so there wasn't actually any physical signs of harm. That was my first kind of thought, that she just then got pushed into this water tank or something like that. But then as the story goes on, and like you mentioned, it just kind of, it makes sense. Like all these signs that she's showing show are what people with bipolar and all these issues that are kind of that she hasn't taken her meds or whatever. It happens, like it's bad, and it is just a tragic accident on her behalf, which it sucks.
So I think the Lazy Days podcast
but
solved the case. We're going to give it a stamp of accident.
Yeah,
Move on.
it is. Yeah, it is an
Solved the
accident.
case.
It was an
Solved
accident.
that's the accident. Is it bad that I wanted it to be weirder than
No,
the
I
accident?
totally.
Is that bad?
I,
Like when you watch all of it, there's just so many theories of what it could be. That when they at the end of it, when they're like, oh, it is just a tragic act, they pass it off. Oh, it is just an
I
accident.
mean, it
I'm like,
definitely was.
could it not have? Yeah,
definitely
it
a
sounds
reason.
bad, doesn't it? But like,
No, I totally agree, because when it ended.
yeah, it sounds
when
bad,
it ended,
but like I did
was
want
like,
it to be more.
oh, is that kind of it in a way, which is really bad, but because of all those conspiracy theories, like you're saying, I was like, oh, it's kind of.
No, I'm not hoping that like
No,
she's
yeah.
murdered
I
brutally.
know, but it's
like,
all
I'm
these
just
theories,
saying, like,
all these theories came out, and it was like, fucking hell, like realistically, it's not as bad as half these theories were. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a bit of a. Not disappointment, I guess.
But
I don't
I
know, it's
would
hard to say,
generally
but I get
say-
what
I
you
know,
mean.
like it could have been
Blood
anything.
is definitely on the hotel's hands. I mean, the fact that CCTV, if there was more CCTV, then the case would just be, I don't think it would never even have a documentary. It'd be
I
a
don't
bit.
know how that bloody
It would have
hurt.
been simple. It's just the fact she was on the floor with no CC.
I don't
She was
get
on the
how,
floor with no CCTV apart from that elevator.
Yeah.
I don't get how they're still even open, or
And
still
that's it.
were even open, with the history of that hotel in general. It's mental.
Because I think it's because people love weird shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like when people love weird shit and danger. It's like when serial killers, like when they get caught, they get married in prison because you get you get weird fans who just fancy the fuck
and-
out.
and
That
they're
reminds
good.
It's like a weird kink.
That reminds me of the Night Stalker,
Of
where
like-
he's in the trial and he's got all those fucking birds, like
I'll say something.
sending in
I'll say
pictures.
It's got all them,
in
yeah,
jail and
exactly, yeah.
Jake, I
Weird.
said something to you. If that was now,
Fuck that.
if he had better teeth, if he used a little bit of Oral B, he would. I reckon he'd be quite good looking because he's got the bone
yeah.
structure and stuff, and it's
I
just he
was
looks like
Really?
your average TikTok lad. You know what I mean?
going off that, Matt. I kind of thought the same thing because on the drawings.
Imagine Richard Ramirez going, "Do you want to see my renegade?" And then go.
Renegade.
It's just not good.
No, I get what you mean though, Matt. Because when they do the first drawings of him in the Night Stalker, he looks fucking terrible. Like,
I know.
Oh, they are so bad. You would not be able to catch anything with that drawing. You could draw anyone.
That's
like
why
that,
he
and
probably
it would be
went-
The person you're
they
after.
probably
That
went-
is crazy.
This, him, or no.
I wouldn't have looked twice at I would just let him go past if I thought that was like the same.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was the same person. It was so off. Because
Yeah,
I was expecting this kind
It
of like
was
50,
terrible.
40-year-old
It's
man.
like when you see them cameras. It's like when you see
what?
them cameras nowadays, and like people. It's like when you see the cameras nowadays, and people have like, I don't know, like broken into an ATM, and it's like, have you seen this man? And it just looks like it's been filmed on a potato, and you're like, well, how am I meant to know that? It's like about 64
That's-
pixels.
That's
in
Haz's
their
phone. He's cheap
Right.
document.
head. Yeah, that's Haz's Android. That is, yeah. That's...
What's it?
Yeah, leave
How?
that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Nah, it's not Huawei anymore, mate.
What is it?
I've got a OnePlus now.
Oh
What the,
no.
What's that? What is that?
That's a
Yeah.
baller phone, mate. It's
What
Get
is
an
it?
iPhone, mate.
Samsung.
Look at that camera.
Just get an iPhone. It's not good.
It's-
Get an
that's
iPhone.
great.
Because when you
Better
text
than
me
iPhone.
emojis, mate, I can't see it. It's like I need to decrypt it.
That sounds like a you problem.
Your Snapchat looks like World War II in colour.
Oi,
Like-
back off. Back off.
Not
Right.
good.
So, have we got any tales that are kind of related to this kind of story? I've got one that's
I've got a
a
few.
bit of a weird one. Have you guys heard of Albert Fish?
Albert Fish.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So let's
No.
start off a little story time with Harry. Howard Fish, not Howard Fish. Albert Fish was born in May the 19th, 1870. He was an American serial killer, a child rapist, and a cannibal.
Good lad.
Alright.
Good lad.
No, didn't mean that. I take it back.
Go on,
I
Fish.
take it back.
Yes.
Halibut
Go
fish.
on.
Halibut fish. Right.
He was known as the Grey Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, and the Brooklyn Vampire. So, some pretty weird names to be known as, just as a person in general.
Can I just say something? Albert's just as weird. Like, you don't need those added to your arsenal. Like, Albert's just weird enough. Let alone
I know, and his name's Fishy. That's a bit fishy, isn't it?
Yeah.
His last name as well.
no. Carol.
Oh, that's stinky.
Alright.
That is. See yourself out. That's
Harry
terrible.
leaves the podcast.
That's terrible.
So-
Yeah, that's terrible. Why I left the Lazy Days podcast.
Lazy podcast gone wrong. Anyway, let's get back to this. Fish once boasted that he had a child in every state, whether that means murdered, raped, or eaten. I don't know what, but he boasted that he had like children in every single state. At one time, his number of victims across America were about 100. This is not confirmed, but he boasted that he had 100 victims, which is just bloody mental.
Fucking hell,
Yeah.
the grind don't stop, does it?
No, he's on one. This guy.
Gets round.
There's there was a
We can joke. It was like 200 years ago now.
well,
Well, not quite. 130
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
We're alright.
Well, this one's a little bit
We can-
closer.
We can make a
So
joke. It's
on
not that
May the 25th, 1928, there's a famous story about this girl called Grace Budd with Albert Fish. I think she was 10. This girl. She was young anyway. She basically got led by Albert Fish and then got killed by him. He then decided to chop up her body and wanted to eat it.
Oh.
Yep. Very, very fucking weird. Very, very weird. The weirdest thing 10 years later,
There's just so many more options before eating someone.
he's
like,
just a madman. This guy.
There's so many options.
No,
There's
he's-
so
What,
many
like,
he's
options.
just a
what,
bit-
like how you cook it, or like in general? I was wondering what options you're talking about. Like
I was just going to
seasoning or-
saute the old.
No,
Flambe
not. I don't
flambe
mean
it,
like there's loads of
Yes.
I don't mean there's loads of techniques on cooking and eating children. I just mean like
Cannibal
surely you could eat
carbonara.
anything else
Oh,
other than
I like
humans.
that. I like that.
No, I don't mean.
Well,
I don't
that's what
know.
Jake meant.
Whatever.
So,
I didn't mean that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Cooking your child
anyway.
with Jake Wickham.
Anyway, this happened. He murdered this girl called Grace Budd. He chopped her up into little bits and basically ate her and kind of got rid of the rest of it. And yeah, he's just a fucking weirdo, this guy. 10 years later, so he's not caught or anything. The mother doesn't know where her daughter is. The audacity, he sends a letter to the mum saying about everything he'd done. Saying about how he ate her and just, yeah. This ultimately led to the police finding Fish and taken into prison, and he later died on the old electric chair, like they all should. But yeah, I just found this story was a bit freaking weird. How he's, one, killed over 100 people, two, a cannibal, a child rapist and child eater in a way, and yet how long he kind of just he went away with it. It's just a bit weird. I don't know if this is an American thing. Like,
God, he's a triple.
That's
all these
rude.
stories-
Can't say that.
all these stories keep coming to America.
Land of the free, home of the brave. Stop slandering.
Maybe that is why.
Americans are wild.
I've got
to be
one
fair.
to tang you
Fucking
guys
were.
in. I've got one.
Right.
I won't say too much, only because it's actually out on Netflix now. It came out on Channel 4, ITV, same thing really. Last year. It's called White House Farm. And it's really interesting.
Is it White House Farm?
That's
Yeah.
the ticket. Don't interrupt me. No, but basically, I'm not going to go into it because I'd like to ask you next episode,
Sorry,
when you've
Dad.
done your homework and research, what you think of it, because it's a really good storyline. And
Okay, give us a basis then.
okay. So basically, there's
Oh, are
this-
we doing a true crime every episode now? By the way, we're just winging it. If anyone's actually
Yeah,
listening to the
yeah.
podcast this far in, we are just sort of winging it.
we'll
I'd be
wing.
surprised
So
if anyone
are
has
we just
lasted
doing
this
a
long,
true
to be
crime
honest.
every week then?
I wouldn't be surprised. 'cause
If you
I
have
think
lasted
we're a
this
bunch
long,
of lads in
comment
which.
Matt's a twat. Comment Matt's a twat, and we'll know.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
we'll know if
as
you
I was
are-
saying
if you
before
are this
Jake called
far
me a
in.
twat,
But anyway, carry on with your story.
So-
yeah.
it's back in the 70s or 80s. There was this house, and there was a couple. They had 2 kids, and I think the mum was quite mentally ill. I don't really know specifics. I haven't really watched it in a while, but basically she wasn't right. She was a bit unwell in the head. So they take the kids back to the house where their grandparents live, because I think.
Sorry, I have to stop you. I'm laughing because you're talking about this thing, and you're like, "Yeah, I haven't really watched it."
No, I have.
You said you'd watched it.
I'm trying not to give too much away.
Only the
What
best.
I'm trying to say is, the family drops their kids off at their grandparents, being white,
Yes.
at the farm.
White Castle.
And no, and there's a brother. The brother's involved and all that. And what happens is the mum stays around the grandparents with the kids, and then they wake up, and then the mum is dead, the grandparents are dead, and also are the kids. And what they're trying to say is, the police really want to wrap it up really quickly. The mum went berserk and killed everyone, and then killed herself. But there's a whole lot more to the story, and whether that's true or not, you might find it out. But honestly, give it a watch. It's a really good drama, and it's on Netflix as of today. But give it a watch and let me know what you think. I'm not going to say much
Alright.
more than that, just because
Okay,
it's
well,
a really, really good.
we'll watch that.
That'll
and
be
then
the
we'll talk
homework
about
for
it
next
time.
episode.
Then.
We'll watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Right, interesting. Okay, cool. Well, I like these. I like these kind of stories and weird psychopath killings and shit.
Yeah.
They are quite interesting.
True crime's good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't make it out to be as weird as it is, because you call it true crime.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel a bit more comfortable about liking the fact that people are getting killed all the time.
Do you like stories that kind of have an ending, or do you like thinking what the ending could be? Basically unsolved or solved.
I like Soul.
I don't know, because one of my favourite films, by the way, Prisoners, you should watch it, very good. The ending, it ends on a cliffhanger.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, it's solved, like the case is sort of solved, but there is a cliffhanger at the end. And I like that, whereas I know that some people don't like the fact that it ended like that. They want to see
the cliffhanger.
the end,
That's
like
with the whistle, isn't it?
The whistle.
At the end, when he's underground. Yeah. If you haven't watched it, you won't know.
No, I haven't seen
he gets
it.
like buried alive, basically.
I kind of like it to be solved.
recommend.
I'd like to think if it's people doing really bad shit, that they kind of get what's coming towards them. But
I do like it. I like it how they long it out in certain
Well, that's
series.
the thing. The majority of true crime shit that comes out, they only release that stuff when the person who's done it is like dead. So like that Richard Ramirez, he died, and then they've released that Night Stalker thing.
Yeah.
That
Yorkshire Ripper.
was it the Wests in England? No, that's it. Yorkshire Ripper. Yeah. Pete Sutcliffe, he died. Then they released that thing on him, and it's like they only do it once he's dead. So majority of the time they do have an ending anyway. So.
Yeah, no, I think they're very interesting, but I do like the mystery behind a lot of these stuff. Like, there's so many stories of kind of urban legends and shit that are just so weird, and there's a lot of coincidences in these stories that like people have seen shit or heard stuff, and no one knows whether they're real, which I quite enjoy listening to and reading up on. But yeah. When it comes to like these Netflix shows, as long as they long out the mystery a bit, and like you kind of only find out what actually happened on the last episode, then I don't mind that. I do like a bit of the old mystery on it. Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it does it much justice if they cram in like a year and a half investigation into four episodes. You know what I mean? It has to be longer. Like that.
They probably miss a lot.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of substance to the actual story, rather than like he was caught, he's dead.
Going back to that, I think that's why I really enjoyed the Night Stalker, because I thought they portrayed that really well.
And to be fair, did you know about that? Because I didn't. I never knew.
No.
I'm quite familiar with the Ted Bundys. What's it? Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, at first I thought it was going to be a Manson sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But yeah, no, I had no idea about it, which is also why I enjoyed it, because new story to learn. But no, I had no idea. No idea. And I'm hoping more of these come out.
No,
I think they are quite
neither.
good.
I was exactly the same. They are interesting. They're good to watch. Definitely.
Yeah. Right, so I'd say that's kind of wrapped up that first little part of the podcast of this kind of true crime and weird stories.
What's next?
Let's go and start a bit more happy and a bit more that we know what we're chatting about, really.
Chelsea!
Football. Chelsea. So Chelsea played Barnsley during the week. Pretty unconvincing 1-0 win.
Barnsley.
Barnsley. What did I say?
No, it's just you're doing fine, mate. You're doing fine. It was a shambles. It was a shambles.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Matt,
No,
go on then.
Strawberry Town.
You start us off then, Matt. What was your thoughts?
You're only getting me to do it just because you know how triggered I am about it.
Go on.
So, it's like, we were quickly on the back foot, man. So quickly on the back foot. Barnsley, I think when we like, it's like when me and Jake were talking about betting. He was like, never bet on the FA Cup, man, because the small teams, they turn up. They turn up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Started off so scruffy and like, I think Barnsley.
There with betting, I don't win a lot. By the way, if anyone cares,
We don't actually
I lose
condone
quite
betting
a lot
on this
of money
podcast, but if you
on
want
that.
to,
Matt's making it out like I know the ins and outs of betting.
But no,
Especially if you're betting on
I lose a
Chelsea.
lot.
but it's
For legal reasons.
But no,
Sixth in League
it's
One, mate.
true. I mean, the
Thank
small
you.
clubs, they turn up, and I generally think Chelsea have this idea when they come against clubs like Barnsley that you've put out a team and we're just going to walk over them. And you can't even say, we were playing a weaker team, because we have a stacked team. We do. We have a really good,
Yeah, our depth's very good.
team. But yeah, instantly on the back foot. Barnsley had that chance, and they say Kepa made a good save. I just think it was a terrible shot. Smacked it right at the keeper. Lucky to get a foot to it. But
Yeah.
To be fair, if he puts that anywhere else, that's 1-0. If he puts that anywhere else, that's 1-0.
Exactly.
He's hit it at Kepa.
All I can say though is Kepa has let those goals in the last kind of few games he's played. So I was quite happy to see him get that clean sheet, and I thought that was a good thing that we could take away from it, even though it is against bloody Barnsley. A clean sheet is a clean sheet, especially for Kepa. It boosts his confidence, and hopefully it kind of gets him challenging back into that first team keeper spot. Because we've seen how Kepa plays. He's bloody brilliant sometimes. Like that first season we had Kepa, he was great. He was making some like ridiculous saves.
In the Europa League, when
Europa
he came,
League.
yeah.
I don't know if you remember the Liverpool Super Cup game where he like had like 3 shots from Liverpool and he just saved like all of them one after another. That was like mental.
He's athletic, but I think where he gets caught off, and the fact he gets so much grief is he gets caught off lines, and when he's playing it out to the wings and stuff, just the passing and stuff, and maybe he just freezes.
His distribution was poor.
Yeah, and I just think it's a difficult job, man. Not that it's like at the same level, but when we play on six-a-side, being in goal, you're always the first person to blame. You know what I mean? And you can only try so hard. I think all of us, Jake,
little
the
plug
last
there,
game you went in goal.
Monday nights under the lights, little plug.
Yeah, has.
Oh no!
I'm
put in the
I'm
fat
the
kid
guy-
in goal because you're a tactical genius. Like
I'm I'm the called up keeper. Just because I think last season
yeah.
we scored like 10 goals. This season none. So the striker that doesn't score.
I've not scored any either.
There's a striker that doesn't score.
You're playing like
It's-
Prime Werner, mate.
No, I was just gonna say a striker that doesn't score. You might as well call him Tammy Abraham.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good.
Tammy
time.
Abraham is a bags man. I won't let you.
So
No.
I won't let you
in
slander him.
all honesty, Matt. Why do you not rate Tammy Abraham?
So,
I'm ready to
Oh, this
counter
could be
any
long,
argument.
by the
you
way.
I know you are. I know you are because
I'd get
you're gonna
comfy.
use. You're gonna use.
Little
like,
disclaimer:
logic.
I'm not actually a Chelsea fan, so I love seeing Chelsea fans argue about absolute shit. Like they're in
Okay.
such a good position in terms of league, wealth, European competitions, and they always find something to moan at, and I love watching it. I love watching.
In
Prem
my
fans
eyes,
Sounds
he.
like
moan.
In my
I love it.
eyes,
But
he-
carry on.
In my eyes, he doesn't even make the bench. I've never, even when he was, because you say, oh yeah, he scored a certain amount of goals, which he did, because he scored, he got a good couple of goals last season, but they're all tap-ins, man. They're all tap-ins, and you just square the ball off,
Okay.
put it in the back of the net, and you tell me, you pick up
Mate,
more than 3
but
chances.
it's a striker's job to be in the
he-
position to put the
he's a
tap-ins in.
striker.
It's a striker's job
Yeah,
to be
but
in the
what
position.
I'm hearing is, he's been scoring, mate. What was the team that he scored a hat trick against?
No, it wasn't Barnsley, was it?
Who did you
Wolves?
play in
Was
the
it
last
Wolves?
round?
He
Who
scored
was
a
it?
hat trick against
Because
Wolves.
you've just played Barnsley.
I think so.
Last-
but what I'm
last
saying
season.
Who's in the last round of the cup?
what I'm saying is
Luton.
Luton. That's it.
That's
so
it.
we're
Luton
talking
Town,
about
yeah.
that level of club, right? Yeah, that level of club. He turns up,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, Jake. At least he's found his like where he's good in his competition. I've never liked him. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm doing that to fish for abuse because everyone
what I'm doing
friends
is
with
I'm
is a Chelsea
comparing
fan,
him
basically.
to.
So I just love winding you all up.
Comparing him to the Drogbas and Diego Costas, and we've all seen before. But I want to, and I'm going to.
Right, okay. Let me just throw things out.
Let me talk. Let me talk.
Tammy Abraham has played 49 games for Chelsea. Okay, he has scored 30 goals in 49 games. That's
many games.
Pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeah. He's had
that's shit up. That is.
He's had 12 assists in those games. As a striker, that's not too bad. That's 106 minutes per game and per goal and assist. He is also our current top goal scorer, above Timo Werner.
Just want to point out that Charlton's main striker has a goals ratio of 88 minutes, meaning that he is better than Tammy Abraham.
Easy league.
Absolute bags man. Chuck's in.
I would, yeah, but
let's go.
I put Chuck.
I don't know, mate. Gillingham today is a tough fixture.
But I think throw all the stats at me, mate. Look, just do it. But I don't know. Whenever he plays, it just hasn't. And you're gonna say he's young and stuff, but he's just hasn't got the strength to hold up. He's like 6'3".
He has. He's
no, he hasn't.
He's come on quite a lot over this last
season. He's
come on.
What he's falling over less. He's still falling over. I think he's just got a kid's mentality of when he doesn't get the perfect ball or stuff, or when the challenge doesn't go his way, he throws his hands up.
He knows where the back of the net is. From an outsider, he knows where the back of the net is. He looks clumsy when he's on the ball.
Exactly.
But I think it is
that's what I'd say. He does look clumsy, but it's not his job. It's not his job to be the creative outlook for the team. You're saying he's not getting it. He's getting to just tap.
That's why we've got Mason Mount.
If he's putting him in the back of the net, who's
talk about
complaining?
Mason Mount.
Who's complaining if he's putting in the back of the net?
I'm not like dead set against Tammy. I've said he's had his good games and stuff. I didn't think too much of Mason Mount back then. Just as much as Callum Hudson-Odoi. Those two have gone so far up the list for me. So Mason Mount, brilliant leader. He looks like he wants to play for Chelsea. You know what I mean? Hudson-Odoi,
he's been our best player this season.
I would, yeah,
100%.
but if you asked me last season, I'd give you the same response. So I'm not blindsided because they're young and all that, but because Mason Mount and Callum Hudson-Odoi, I didn't perhaps really like at the start, but now definitely I want them to start. You know what I mean? Definitely Callum Hudson-Odoi because I think he definitely.
What does Tammy have to do to make him one of those players for you?
I'm not too sure, mate. I think I'm so far into hating it. I just not him, man. It's just how he plays and stuff. It's just, I'd like him to be a bit more aggressive and just a bit more goal hungry and just go for it. I don't know. Maybe it's
goal hungry.
Yeah.
How can he be more goal hungry at the moment?
I just want him to break the net. You know what I mean?
Hey, he's got how many goals? Did I just say?
You know, a striker doesn't have to hit absolute galassos every game. If he's still bagging a tackle,
all I'm saying is when I go out and strike on a Monday night, I'm just going for that goal. It's pure passion. It's pure passion for the team and stuff.
You're a danger to yourself when we play on Monday nights.
Hence why I'm a net.
Let alone a danger to the opposition.
So it'd be interesting. New manager and all that, and doing this podcast, whether 4 months' time in the good books or not. I don't know. I'm one of those people that has to find someone to complain about, and it's usually him. If not,
I mean, yeah.
If not, it's definitely Ziyech at the moment, and I want to talk about that because I think I talked to you, and I've not seen much from him. You can talk about Havertz and Werner, but at least they're trying. You know what, Werner, you feel sorry for him. Havertz, it's a shit game. He looks like he doesn't care, and I don't think he wants to be here. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I mean, with Ziyech, yeah, I'm struggling with Ziyech. I really want him to like play and bring out that kind of what we've seen in him, like for Ajax and that, he's bloody class, and he's shown that he can be good. Like he's had little moments where he's like done absolutely amazing crosses and like little passes at Chelsea, but his overall game's not amazing. And if he carries on at this rate, he's not going to be first team at all. Especially when you've got people like Mason Mount, when you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right, when you've got Werner kind of even if he's on the left, and Pulisic if he gets back in a bit of better form.
Yeah.
Ziyech isn't going to find any room in for this squad, I don't think anyway, unless something really really good happens for him. And come on, he's at a prime age now as well, where he should be in his prime. What is he, 27, 28, something like that? So he's at his like prime age where he should be the best of his best. And if he carries on like this, it's just going to be a bit of a downhill slope for him. I think at Chelsea.
You know what I mean?
He's going to suffer to the Chelsea curse.
But you know what I mean? It's just Barnsley, man. Like he should just be like, you know, when Neymar was pulling those like rainbow flicks over that team and all sorts of stuff like that. Like it's a different league, and he gets pulled off because he's playing terribly. He's not annoyed at the fact that himself. He's kind of like, what am I doing here? It just doesn't look interested.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's had his injuries. To be fair, this season he's had quite a few injuries, which is frustrating as a Chelsea fan to see this new player who you know is bloody great suffer to injuries and then not come back in the form that he was in. But I think a thing with our squad at the moment, especially before Tuchel came in, is a lot of the players lacks confidence. I don't know if that was something to do with Lampard or if it was something to do with like I don't know something else in the back rooms. But a lot of players were lacking confidence. Havertz, Werner, Ziyech, like even Pulisic coming back, Kepa.
They're still lacking that confidence now.
Big time.
I would generally say,
like you saw that training video get leaked of Werner scoring that header, and
that's exactly what I want to talk about.
Like it's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah,
I
was going to ask Kaz, because you're all true blue and stuff like that. I just wanted to know, like, are you for that or?
I don't hate it. Like I think we all need a bit of a pick me up from your mates and your teammates and that. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, it was a little bit over the top. Yeah, I'll give you that. But one thing I've really liked about Thomas Tuchel coming in is how he is with every player. He treats every player with the same respect. It looks like he's always hugging. He's always kind of talking to every single one, no matter if you're Tino Angerin like on the reserves or whatever, or if you're bloody Mason Mount. He's treating that player with the same respect.
After games,
and he's
coming
to
up.
Improve.
Yeah, he's after games coming up and giving them like.
If I'm Timo Werner in that situation, though, and everyone's celebrating like I've scored in a World Cup final and I've just headed a goal in training, is that not just a bit patronising? Like you're this absolute goal machine for Leipzig. You're this absolute goal machine for Leipzig. In the Champions League, you're ripping up English teams, you're getting all this press, and then you come to a massive club like Chelsea, where they do have a bit of a striker curse anyway. It's just to be said, your strikers underperform whoever it is, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
In fact, Abraham, I hate to say, well, Matt would hate to say it, but he's probably the only one that looks like he's going to score in a Chelsea shirt. Werner looks fucking hopeless up top.
Speak, I'm in trouble.
And I don't know. That's a bit patronising when you're this absolute bags man.
You did only see
getting
that
celebrated
one
for
clip
a
of
header.
Werner. Like you don't know if they were doing it to other players. Like so, it's a bit hard to judge it just on that one clip.
Yeah, but I feel like because they're riding.
I totally get where you're coming from. If they're
just riding off it, it's a simp for Werner. You know what I mean? I have to be hard on him just as much as I'm hard on Tammy Abraham. Score goals, mate.
I think if Werner was a different, if Werner came to Chelsea not as a striker, I think he'd be playing really well because on the left his work rate is mental. Like he is running with that ball like insanely. Like he's constantly chasing for the ball, constantly chasing back for the ball, running for like the ball. His work rate's insane. I've got to give him that. He's mad. He's just not finishing right at the moment. And if we didn't see him like we did see him at Leipzig, and like where you seen him put 40 goals in a season, whatever it was, it would be a totally different story anyway. But yeah, he just needs to find the back of the net, and I think it will come. He knows what's happening. I've seen it in interviews as well, where he said how he's feeling and what happens, how everyone else is reacting around him. He knows what's happening, and he knows he needs that goal. It's just a mentality state at this point, I think, and he just needs to get that goal and kind of boost his morale and his confidence overall. But what can you do? It's football at the end of the game. It could either turn out.
Are you
right.
playing this weekend?
Huh?
Are you playing this weekend?
Who, Chelsea?
Are you playing this weekend?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I don't know who we're playing actually. Let me have a look.
And if you are, who's starting for you, Abraham or Werner?
We've got Newcastle on Monday.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure.
Who's starting for you, Abraham or Werner?
I put
Abraham. Abraham up top, Werner on the left. I wouldn't start Pulisic.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I hate strikers playing out wide.
I'd have Cho on the right, Abraham up top, Werner on the left, Mount at cam.
I would like to see one more. I'd like to see Billy Gilmore get a few more games.
Oh yeah, I love Billy. I think he's bloody class. I think he will come out tops. He's
How old is he?
he's
19?
looking like a true
He
pro.
should come on loan to Charlton for a season.
Now we've been there with
Get
players.
him a bit of that. EFL. EFL. Oh, don't. That's a touchy subject. That's a touchy one. We've got a player on loan from you now. He's a left back called Ian Martson, right?
Yeah.
And
Dutch, isn't he?
And he doesn't like defending.
Oh.
He's not a left back.
Oh.
Your coaching staff need to do something. He fucking loves the centre of midfield. He'll find himself. He'll get the ball, pick the ball up in left back, and he'll play like a couple of 1-2 passes and run inside. I'm thinking, where the fuck's the left back? And he's just like roaming around the centre midfield. He's dangerous. Do I think he's better than our current left back? No.
But you've
just because there's no
you
sort
have probably
of
only got him as a bit of a backup because he is only a reserve for us, if not that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why he's probably gone on loan to you for a bit of for some game
he
time.
looks promising. He He needs to work on his defending. I don't think he's really a defender, to be honest.
Our left backs
He
like
seems
to do
more
that
of a
though.
winger. He loves getting forward. Whereas we don't really play that sort of system. But no, talking of Chelsea loanies to Charlton anyway, we can't mention Ian Martin without mentioning Conor Gallagher, that absolute boy
I was going to say
from last season.
Yeah.
Won't ever forgive Frank for recalling him and sending him to Swansea. That effectively relegated us from the Championship. He was literally our best player.
I don't really know why.
I'll stand by it and say that the Championship, by the way, because we were around 18th, 19th out of 24 teams, and I think he wanted him to go on a promotion charge instead with Swansea. They failed. Fuck you, Frank. Anyway, but it ended in us being relegated. I wouldn't say he's the main reason, but he was definitely one of our better players. I've never fallen in love with a lone player before Conor Gallagher, and now he's living it up in the Premier League with West Brom.
Well, if it keeps going the way that it's going, and he just keeps getting loaned out, it'll probably be sold for bare cheap, and it'll probably come to you in a few years.
Yeah, you know, like, what's it?
He'll probably be at Betis anyway, because your loan systems are fair. Your loan systems are failing.
Tomori, mate.
Tomori.
I hate. I'm not
Tomori.
happy that he's gone, man. I'm not happy that he's gone.
Some 14-year-old on Twitter made a rumour about Tomori coming to Charlton, right? And all the Facebook dads were going absolutely mental about it.
I heard that. I heard he had
on,
links with Rihanna.
He was linked to AC Milan.
I heard that he was seeing Rihanna.
Oh Lord.
Mate, he's a baller.
He's
We
really
made a
good.
massive mistake.
Well, we didn't.
He's a baller.
Frank did, and thank God he's gone.
Yeah, well, Chelsea in general made a massive mistake with that. That's a bit of Marina to.
I'm not
Thank
taking-
God
I'm
he's
not taking
gone.
responsibility.
Controversial.
Not me, mate.
And that they will sign him. I mean, if Paolo
Controversial.
Maldini thinks that he's going to be a good centre back, surely that tells you something. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely. Is it? Because he's English, isn't he?
Paolo Maldini is.
And is
the
he
king
in?
of centre
Is he in?
backs.
England
Fikayo
team?
Tomori's English.
Yeah, Tomori's English,
Exactly.
and he's
Yeah, but he's not getting ahead of He's not getting ahead of Maguire and Stones.
No, but he's
Not a chance.
He might.
Yeah, anyway.
he's
Give it a
definitely,
couple of seasons or so. You never know.
definitely promising.
Yeah, we're talking about right now though.
Yeah, right now, no, he
he's not
doesn't.
better than. I think Stones is our best centre back. Stones is our best centre back for sure.
What about
He's so
Gomez
good.
when he's like not
He's
injured?
revived his career at City. Oh, Gomez. Yeah, actually, I've got a soft spot for Gomez. I actually forgot about him because he's been injured for so long.
Now when he's not injured, he's
I'd
class.
start Gomez.
What do you
and
guys think of
Stones,
Phil
actually. Maguire's just.
Phil Foden.
He's a walking. Oh, he's just
bit of a baller.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
We'll be seeing in a few years' time
Unbelievable.
England with basically Lampard and Gerrard again, with Foden and Mount. Do you know what I mean? I think.
Not Mount. I can't.
You don't, are you mad?
I love Mount, but I'm not having. He doesn't start in my England.
Legit.
midfield.
Who starts in your England midfield?
He doesn't. I don't. In my England midfield, it is Rice. You have Rice in the sort of defensive midfield situation, and then you have Grealish in there as well. And if we're talking a youngster, if we're playing two, Grealish and Rice. If we're not, then Foden or a Madison type role. I don't think Mount makes my starting 11, to be honest.
Interesting.
I have to admit.
I'd definitely say.
I know that hurts you because you're a Mason. You're a Mason Mount
yeah.
stan, but
I remember the days when
he
Haz
doesn't-
used to come in and sit in my chair and go, you know Mason Mount? Yeah, just. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool.
Or get a Mason.
You just want.
Also,
Long
when I
fringe.
just said that Mount didn't fit in my team, that just reminded me of when Roy
Yes.
Keane and Jamie Carragher were talking about
Giggsy
Man
and
United
making
all-time
him to my
legend.
team.
What? Really?
What?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't lie, my heart
What?
sank a little bit there, Jake.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just hard hitting.
I would
facts.
say.
It is, I'll give you it though.
He's good,
'cause
but
we've
he's
got
not.
some good players.
He's not starting 11.
We have got some good players at the moment in the England squad, so it's hard to fill any
He's not
space.
starting 11 for me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see
Interesting.
though. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
England have a very good team again, but you just know what happens with us in good teams because when we had Rooney, Beckham, Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, and we won nothing, absolutely nothing, and that team is better than what we've got now.
Yeah, golden generation. That.
I don't know. It's hard to get hopeful. It's hard to get hopeful for England, but.
Well, we'll soon find out. Won't we? Like we've got Euros coming up.
I can't afford to let my
another
hopes
World
get
Cup.
that high again. I can't do that. I don't want to sound like every basic bitch, but my life generally did peak. Just super hot summer. I mean,
What, Kieran Trippier's free kick,
I
mate?
remember
Kieran
you
Trippier's free
two
kick,
being in the
yeah.
pub, throwing a chair at someone, just being happy in myself, and at the end.
I was fuming, right? Because obviously I'm used to university prices. I come back to this Tory town, and it's like £5 a pint.
You remember the double
It's
pint?
like £5 a pint. I've literally just wrestled. I've wrestled to the bar to buy a pint for you. I've turned around like that, and Kieran Trippier has absolutely banged one in the top corner, and my pints have gone fucking everywhere.
That.
And I was absolutely livid. Bearing in mind, I'm still at uni and I'm still absolutely skinned.
I can just remember. I can remember standing there watching the game. We was over in the corner, and I just remember a fucking Yorkshire pudding flying over. Like someone had bought a roast. someone
Jake,
had bought a roast, sat there watching it,
can
and
you
just
remember?
a Yorkshire pudding.
Can you remember who was it that we beat on penalties?
Colombia.
Can you remember that guy that
Colombia.
I stood in front of him for about a second and he tried fighting me?
Oh,
The old man.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I got here early, and I was just like, please, he kept on pushing me, and I didn't know what was going on. I just wanted to see it. And then he was like pushing me, and he came up to me and hugged me and went, you're alright, you're alright, I'm sorry. And I was just so many mixed emotions. I was like, if we lose this, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. And
I
then
remember that so well.
he came up to, and then Jake, you remember later on,
So good.
that was the guy that came up to me and said, in the barber shop, my dad would have flattered you. I mean, yeah, it's like no one goes through.
Oh my god, yeah.
You remember that my dad going?
He outed
no
you
one
when I
goes
was
through my
getting
dad. I was
trim,
like,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
2 years
no.
ago. 2 years ago, but yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was hot, shorts weather. I'm leaving work early on.
Yeah, that video came up on my TikTok earlier, and it was like just kind of take me back to this, and it was just like videos of people in pubs when Chelsea, when England won on penalties against Colombia, and yeah, that was just
the one
good,
thing I
good
loved.
times.
You see the girls that had never watched football before, but all the lads were down there. They'd ask their dad or their brother for that Beckham. You know the Beckham.
Can I borrow a shirt?
You know the Beckham Umbro, the red one.
Yeah.
That was like down to their knees.
The Rooney 06 shirt.
Yeah. They've bought the pint in the plastic cup, and they're just there they're just there to do it. They don't understand what's going on, and it's you know, with the Gareth Southgate chants, they were absolutely loving it, but they were hoping they were just loving it. I just see them in the corners with their drinks, like trembling, getting ready to like throw it up in the air. I was like,
there's one thing during that time. I don't know if you guys can remember, but it will always stick with me, and it was just hilarious. And I don't know if you remember, my glasses broke during the celebrations I think someone scored.
Yes, I do.
My lens popped out and it just went somewhere. I have no idea where it went, and I can't remember who found it, but someone found it and passed it me, and everyone was like silence looking for it, and we found it, and everyone just went, "Way!" I was like, "Oh my god, amazing!" Like it was just brilliant.
Apparently, what I got told by my girlfriend, apparently in 13, when we got knocked out, they all started fighting each other. Apparently a huge fight broke out.
Yeah, there were fights.
I nearly fought Cal.
Yeah, there were fights.
Oh well, yeah, he's a prick, so.
Yeah, well, that
I remember going to Roosters afterwards to get some.
Sorry, Cal.
To get some food,
Yeah.
and Cal was just pissed, and he was like just being really annoying.
Yeah, but in that situation, that's instant. You're sobered up instantly. It's like
I was sober. I was sober because I was driving. So I got chips, and then I remember him getting. It was on my New England shirt as well, and it was like mayonnaise on a chip, and he put it on like, the shirt. And I remember just getting fuming.
If that was
him, knocked his chips out of the way, and I went.
If that's him, that's barbecue sauce, mate. That's never coming out.
Oh, mate, I was fuming. I was so angry at him, but yeah, I didn't hit him in the end.
I would have.
Well, I think we'll have to be wrapping this one up.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
As the first episode, anyway.
Fun.
Quick.
I liked it.
Yeah. Quick one, Jake. What's your predictions for the Charlton game then?
That's been good. I mean, they're doing a pitch inspection still.
Okay.
But if it goes on, it's a difficult game for us. But I do think we're going to win either 1-0 or 2-1. I don't think it'll be a very.
Or can you get a Chuck's double today?
Chuck's double last week won me 140 quid on the old betting.
Try it again.
Sky Bet, if you're listening, I'll do a promo for you.
I'm actually
just
to cause some kind of chaos. I'm going to bet against you.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know me. I'm a betting man.
He'll bet for
Wasting
Newcastle
your money,
on Monday.
Mate. Wasting your money.
Yeah.
He probably would, to be fair.
Matt, what's your predictions for Chelsea Newcastle for Monday?
I don't really know too much about Newcastle. How are they doing this season?
Newcastle, standard really.
Which is one of those teams that you don't really know. You don't really.
Steve Bruce, mate, is tricky black and white army. No, they're very
They're
average.
16th.
I think.
Bit of a shit
I'm
season,
gonna say
to be
this.
honest.
I think we
Bit
will
of a shit
win,
season. Yeah.
but either coming from this, we're either going to be like a huge kick up the arse from how we played against Barnsley.
We're at home, which is a bonus.
Yeah, but either we play really well, just because.
Yeah, but without fans, is the home advantage even a thing?
Yeah, true.
That's a topic for another day, to be fair. But I'm going to say, considering how we played against Barnsley, either we get a kick up the arse and we play really well. If not, maybe we win, but I don't think very convincingly, because maybe at some back of our head that we weren't as strong as we should have been against Barnsley. So I would say win, but I'd like to see how we play.
I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Chelsea.
And Haz, what do you reckon?
3-0 win for Chelsea. Two goals to Tammy, and Werner gets his
I
goal.
like it.
I just want
Werner
to see.
gets his goal. Jeez,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I keep saying it every week, to be honest, but I just want him to score.
Tammy ain't making my team.
I think we all do at this point. I think we all do. I want him to because I was stubborn. And kept him in my dream team for like the first 5 weeks, and he let me down. And ever since then, I've hated him.
We will see.
I was really stubborn as well. I just wouldn't get him out. But
He'll be back. He'll be back to good.
We'll be back.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep.
Yep. Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you.
Made
Thanks
it
for
this
listening.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you made it this far, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't forget to leave a like and a little subscribe, and
I
let
hope
us
you
know
stick
what you
around
want to
for the
hear
next
and
one.
what you want to
yeah,
see.
for sure. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, lads.
Forgot about that.
Yes, and you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Cheers,
that's
Matt.
nice.
Cheers, Jake. See you later, guys.
Boy.
Bye.